Welcome to Open Tierra. Today we're looking at Malawi, home to Lake Malawi, one of the largest and deepest lakes in Africa, sometimes called the Calendar Lake, because it's approximately 365 miles long and 52 miles wide. Join us and stay to the end to learn more about Malawi's geography, people, food, and history. Malawi is a landlocked country located in Southeast Africa, bordered by Zambia, Tanzania, and Mozambique. It has a total land area of over 118,000 square kilometers. Malawi's geography can be divided into three main regions. The Great Rift Valley runs north-south through western Malawi, containing Lake Malawi, the third largest lake in Africa. High mountains line the valley, with peaks reaching up to 3,000 meters. East of the Rift Valley are rolling hills and mountains, with flat-topped plateaus divided by river valleys. This area has isolated peaks like Mulanje Mountain. The central and southern regions of Malawi feature rolling plains dotted with various hills and low mountains, with elevations ranging from 760 1,220 meters. The terrain slopes downward toward the south. Lake Malawi is a major geographic feature, stretching 560 kilometers through western Malawi and covering over 11,400 square kilometers. It empties into the Shire River, which flows southward from Lake Malawi through the lower Shire River Valley, before joining the Zambezi River in Mozambique. Its natural resources include limestone, uranium, coal, bauxite, diverse wildlife, and fish. However, land degradation and deforestation are environmental concerns. Malawi has established national parks and forest reserves to protect its wildlife and ecosystems. Hydroelectric power from its rivers and Lake Malawi provides most of their electricity. Malawi has a diverse population composed of various ethnic groups. The country's population is around 20 million according to World Bank data. The Chiwa people are the largest group, making up about one-third of the population. The second largest is the Lomwe, followed by the Yao, Ngoni, and Tumbuka peoples. Other smaller ethnic groups include the Tonga, Nyanja, Sena, and Nkonde. Each group has its history, culture, and traditional homeland region within Malawi. Chichewa is the official national language spoken by most Malawians. It was developed in the 19th century from the Nyanja language. English is the official language used in schools, government, and most publications. Other major indigenous languages include Lomwe, Yao, Ngoni, and Tumbuka. Many Malawians also speak Portuguese, the former colonial language, as well as other neighboring African languages. Most Malawians are Christian, with the largest groups being Roman Catholic, Presbyterian, and Anglican. Pentecostal and independent churches have grown rapidly in recent decades. About 20–25% of the population is Muslim, mainly Sunni. Traditional African religions are practiced by some Malawians as well. Religion is an integral part of daily life and Malawian culture. Churches play important community roles, providing schooling and other services in addition to spiritual guidance. Simple but flavorful dishes are made with local ingredients and reflect Malawi's agrarian rural culture. Ensima thick maize porridge is the most common staple food eaten at meals throughout Malawi. It has a doughy texture and bland taste, usually served with relishes and stews that provide flavor. Mokwani is a stew made of pumpkin leaves, tomatoes, and ground peanut flour. It is usually served along with ensima or rice. Tobwa is a nutritious drink made from mashed white maize. Tobwa provides important calories. It has a smooth, milky consistency and can be drunk throughout the day. Mandazi are fluffy. Deep-fried buns are a favorite snack and street food. Sweet mandazi are coated in sugar, while saltier versions are flavored with spices. The textures and tastes make mandazi a beloved treat. The earliest inhabitants of the region were Khoisan hunter-gatherers. Bantu peoples began arriving around AD 1000, bringing Iron Age technology and agriculture. By 1500, the Marawi kingdom encompassed much of Malawi. In the 18th century, the Ngoni people arrived from South Africa and conquered the Marawi. In 1859, David Livingstone became the first European to explore Malawi. In 1891, Britain colonized Malawi, then called Nyasaland, and made it part of the Central African Federation. Colonial rule brought labor migration, forced cultivation of cash crops like tobacco, and denial of political rights for native Africans. In the 1950s, Malawians began pushing for self-governance. The Nyasaland African Congress, led by Hastings Banda, demanded independence. After British rule ended in 1963, Malawi gained full independence in 1964 under Banda. Hastings Banda led Malawi from 1964 to 1994. He established a one-party totalitarian regime with himself as president for life. His rule brought some economic growth but suppressed freedoms and opposition. By the early 1990s, protests finally led to a referendum ending one-party rule. In 1994, Malawi's first democratic elections were held. Banda was defeated by Bakili Muluzi and his United Democratic Front. Muluzi served 2 terms from 1994 to 2004. Its GDP is around $13 billion according to World Bank data. Around 80% of the population lives in rural areas and depends on subsistence farming. Agriculture accounts for about 1/3 of GDP and 90% of export revenues. Key crops are tobacco, tea, sugarcane, cotton, corn, potatoes, sorghum, cattle, and goats. Malawi's industrial sector accounts for around 20% of GDP. Key industries include agricultural processing, construction, consumer goods, and cement production. The service sector makes up the remaining GDP. Tourism is an area of potential growth. The economy relies heavily on external aid and foreign direct investment. Malawi faces several economic challenges including poverty, corruption, high inflation, unemployment, and poor infrastructure. Over half the population lives below the poverty line. Frequent droughts, soil degradation, and deforestation make farming difficult. Access to electricity is extremely limited. Malawi has undertaken economic reforms to move towards a more market-oriented economy. GDP growth averaged around 4 to 6% in the 2000s, but declined in recent years. The government is working to diversify the economy beyond agriculture into manufacturing and services. Improving education, healthcare, infrastructure, and environmental sustainability are key long-term goals. Malawian culture reflects the various ethnic groups that make up its population. Traditional and contemporary influences blend in Malawian cultural practices and artistic expressions. Malawian artisans produce various handicrafts, textiles, sculptures, and carvings. Wood carving is a highly regarded art form, often depicting animals and human figures. Musical traditions include drumming, dance, and instruments like the marimba. Contemporary Malawian artists and writers continue developing the country's cultural landscape. If you enjoyed this video on Malawi, you'll love this next one.